Hello everyone. So this is Bhoopesh again. Today we'll be talking about a very important topic, especially in Grafana, and how to get the metrics for a particular application to your Prometheus so that uh, the application can be monitored properly via Grafana. So before jumping into that topic, a quick recap what we have done so far. We have around 7 videos in the same playlist, which is getting important day by day. So first of all, you're doing a Grafana setup, and then we are doing a Jira integration so that the ticket can go to Jira. The third, we are understanding what are PromQL queries, how they work in Prometheus and Grafana. And the fourth is how to create different dashboards on Grafana, or the different ways to do that, how to set up key logs, integrating it with Grafana, how to create alerts, what are the different type of alerts, management that is happening in Grafana, like alert manager based alerting or Grafana based alerting. And then we saw how to enable tempo tracing using Grafana so that we can have the tracing also available. And today we'll see the popular MongoDB exporter, which is being provided by Prometheus community, and how it scrapes the metrics and how can we get the monitoring of that MongoDB database. And similarly, we have a lot of other exporters like MySQL, Postgres, DB, so that these level of database can also be monitored. So let's quickly understand the logic or critical aspects of it. So before jumping onto the practical implementation, so we see first of all we deploy the MongoDB database in any particular namespace as a pod. Now on top of that application, you need to monitor the metrics which is being generated by that pod. So there's a popular MongoDB exporter Helm chart available. We'll just install that Helm chart on top of it so that it will scrape the metrics from this pod and then we'll expose the metric endpoint. Now Prometheus Prometheus stack will actually read these metrics on the basis of either pod monitor or service monitor. Now what is that? I'll just come on to that thing in a greater detail. So it will look into that particular endpoint metrics and then will scrape it according to the labels, and this is being done by a particular CRD into the same Prometheus stack. So once that metric is available in Prometheus server, so ultimately Grafana will just pull that metric and then will be visible onto the Grafana, and it can be visible onto the Prometheus UI also. So this is the nutshell of getting any metrics from your cluster to Grafana. It can be black box exporter, it can be MySQL exporter, or it can be JMX matrix, or it can be any other matrix for that matter. So yeah, so this is all about the practical aspects of it. Let's quickly jump onto the implementation of it. So I've created a GitHub page also for this so that so you can see the README MongoDB exporter page. So there are basically how many steps? Only 3 steps are there. We'll see how we can achieve the MongoDB metrics directly in our Grafana. So I'm open the same thing into my VS Code. So as we see, definitely we should have a Grafana up and running. So we need to install this Prometheus stack. Everything is uh, given here, the reference documentation. We'll just come out to the cluster and then we'll see, okay, do we have anything in this matrix namespace? So nothing, everything is, this namespace is empty. So we'll just simply run this community repo add. Since it is already added, we'll just not give any error for me. We'll do ham repo update. Pull out. Now what I'm doing with this command, helm upgrade install Prometheus. I'm just trying to create a release name Prometheus with from this community and I'm installing this Prometheus stack in its matrix namespace. I'll just run the command. This will just bring up your Grafana and Prometheus entire stack within a minute or so, and then we'll see what are the scraping in endpoint that has been doing as of now. Okay, so this is up. Let me see. Okay, get SVC service. We'll do a port forwarding of service of this Prometheus, right? So this is a Prometheus endpoint. I want to show you currently what is being scraped. Okay, So this is a default Helm chart. I ran it. I did not change anything in this. Now that's okay. So I'll come on to the targets. Now you can see we have everything, but the node exporter, the CubeSat metric, these are all again different exporters. But we don't have anything related to MongoDB, right? So this is a brand new Helm chart, which is just running and setting up your Grafana Prometheus stack. Now the next step is we need to create a MongoDB based application. Okay, the next step, install MongoDB application so that we can scrape the metric from here. So there's a GitHub page. Yeah, so I'll go to this MongoDB exporter folder. Then click on this deployment.yaml file for you. What this deployment.yaml file contains, it contains the deployment manifest, which is actually pulling up one container with this Mongo as image, okay, and then it is creating a service at port number 2707, a container port with this service name MongoDB service. Okay, I'm inside this. I'll do a kubectl apply -f deployment, and then I'll just run it. So deployment and both these are created. I'll just come here, terminate this KGP. Okay, MongoDB pod is up and running. I'll see whether the service is running or not. So this is an independent application. Port forward PC and then MongoDB service. Now this is an independent application. This has no relation with Prometheus and Grafana as of now. We'll just try to set up an. So it is saying if you're trying to access the MongoDB over HTTP over the native site. So yeah, it looks like so it is just doing a curl to this port number. It is running fine. So now we can say there's an independent MongoDB up and running and independent Grafana. We need to just create a connection between these two. So what I'll do, I'll come on to my documentation on third documentation. So I'll install the MongoDB exporter via Helm chart. Now before I come and install this Helm chart, I'll just show you the page of MongoDB exporter. So this has been supported by your Prometheus community basically. Not this one, Prometheus community. 1 second, yes, exporter. Yep. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. So we can simply, so rather than running and doing with this, so let me just run it with the help of Helm chart by following the steps and then we'll, so what I'm trying to do, I'm just coming to this again, the PPT. I'm going to run this Helm chart. What this will do, it will actually scrape the metrics from here and it will create a endpoint for us. Okay. You can understand the details of Helm chart by pulling the tar file, but yeah, for now, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just simply run what this is doing. Helm upgrade installing this MongoDB exporter Helm chart. Okay, now how I got the Helm chart? You can come here, MongoDB exporter Helm chart, and the first link that you came across it is this one. Yeah, I'm doing it this only, right? Yeah, fine. So I'm just installing this Helm chart. Before installing this Helm chart, I'll just show you a couple of things. So let me see what all values it is coming. Yeah, what are Helm values that by default it's coming. So what's the Helm values? And we need to modify a few things like URI, the service endpoint, and then we'll add one more label. Now, what is the importance of this? So just open that MongoDB YAML file, which I'm passing it here. I'm using the same Helm chart, but I'm passing this MongoDB YAML file. So yeah, this is the one. Now I'm overwriting these three variables, three or four variables. First of all, I'm just making sure that my service name is being changed properly. So this is the service name. So you can see a get service. So my MongoDB service is MongoDB service rather than only MongoDB. So this is the change I need to do. Now, second thing is I need to create a service monitor. Now, what is a service monitor? This is very important to understand. So currently there is no MongoDB service monitor. So how actually Prometheus operator read a different application endpoint and get the metrics to Prometheus server. So I will just see get the service monitor for any existing tag components, suppose for that matter kubestate metrics, okay, which is giving the container level metrics. Um, Let me see the node exporter only. Kubestate metric. Okay. Now inside the service monitor is actually continuously looking a service, the kubestate metrics with this label. So actually release it to Prometheus because we have given the Prometheus release name while installing the Prometheus flag. So this label will be continuously checked across all namespace, and wherever it will find this label in either near any of the service monitor or a pod monitor, it will, Prometheus will quickly capture it and will, catch that scraping endpoint. So what we will do, we will actually create a service monitor which will keep looking the service of MongoDB. Okay, that will continuously looking up, and then the Prometheus CRD will capture that service monitor using this label. That is equal to Prometheus. Right? That's very important to understand. Otherwise, your debugging will be pretty much difficult. So we need to make sure whether you create a pod monitor or service monitor on your application that should have this label. The moment you have this label, then Prometheus CRD will catch it and then it will be visible onto your Prometheus CRDs, right? So let me just, so what we need to do in the same Helm chart, I need to just pass, first of all, enable it true so the service monitor can be created, and then pass these additional labels into the Helm chart, right? Now I'll run the final step, which is important. So I'm creating or installing MongoDB export Helm chart with these values, okay? And I'll come here into the GitHub link where I am, okay? Let me see if I'm at the correct location. Let me do some clear thing. Okay, so it is not existing, it is installing now. So I'll do a checking in parallel. I'll do a Helm list. So you can see the my DB MongoDB exporter has been installed. You can see the pod also. So my DB MongoDB exporter pod is up and running. Let me see the service. So there's a MongoDB exporter service is also up and running. I'll just do a port forward on this. Port forward and service. Okay, 9216. Extra 7. I'll see what it is giving. Yeah, so endpoint is properly coming. I'm able to scrape metrics and the metrics is coming properly, at least onto the cluster. Now we need to just tie this thing to the Prometheus. I'll see the targets again. Uh, and we see we have service monitor created or not. So we have a MongoDB export service monitor also. See, it created 94 seconds ago. And if I see what this service monitor contains, this is really, really important to understand. And so YAML. Now you see the release is Prometheus, which will be read by our CRD. And CRD, I mean custom resource definition of Prometheus operator, the service monitor CRD, and then ultimately the service monitor is looking for this service which is having this label, right? And this label is something but your MongoDB exporter service label. Now you can see get CRDs also. So if you see there's a service monitor CRD. This is the CRD which is responsible for continuously looking for that service monitor across all namespace. Right. So this is done. Let me just do a first of all before we actually check things on Grafana, we will check it on the Prometheus. I'll come here. I'll just do a this piece. Okay, and then do a 9090. Fine. I'll see the Prometheus endpoints. What all things it is discovering now. Target. Okay, see now I'm able to see this MongoDB. Earlier it was not coming. It is up and running on the code. Yeah. So perfect. So we are able to see everything onto the Prometheus. Now let's see the final pieces on Grafana so that we can create certain dashboard also. Okay, get SVC. Okay, port forward as service, and then the Grafana service. Right. So this is the final validation that we are doing. Password is again prom hyphen operator. That's the default password. You can change it. If you don't know that you can how to change it, you can see my previous videos on Grafana setup. So yeah, this is done. I'll come here. I'll see what all metrics are coming. This, yeah, I'll run that count. Let me see the MongoDB. Do we have anything related to MongoDB? Let me check it here. So MongoDB metrics are already coming. If I quickly run any one of the metrics, see the data is already coming. So this is how you can do it. Now let me just quickly see whether we can import any MongoDB related dashboard. So that MongoDB dashboard Grafana. Let's see whether we have any dashboard. MongoDB Grafana Labs. Yes, we have something. Let me see whether it's this for checking purpose. Our work is already done. I'm just doing a quick validation whether we have anything, any data available, right? Now there's no data. But anyway, so the the idea behind of this integration is that we are able to get the MongoDB related metrics quickly in a fraction of sec. I mean, we ran few Helm charts and then we were able to see all the data. Okay, so let me see what all other matrices are coming. So we have a lot of matrices related to MongoDB. Let me run this. Yeah, and we can just quickly do a instant value. Yeah, let me do a range because that was there for some time back. Okay, so that is pretty much we have covered all the three important points and make sure that the metrics are coming. We'll take the next session on maybe MySQL exporter or maybe PostgreSQL exporters. But yeah, that is how you can bring any additional separate application metrics to the Grafana using different labels. So yeah, so let's quickly wrap it up. What we did, we installed first of all a MongoDB application, and then we had set up a Grafana using the Kubernetes stack. Further, we installed MongoDB Exporter using Helm Chart and then scrape metrics on metrics endpoint. Finally, the metrics were feed by Prometheus server. We saw it on discovery mode on this Prometheus UI, and finally the data was coming to the Grafana. Yeah. So I'll just take a pause. Maybe if you need any more details and clarification, post it in the comments of this video. Yeah, thanks for now. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. The link is on the right hand side of the video. Thank you. Goodbye.